Yesterday, I gave brief introduction to Jane Austen and her fictional works. Today, we discuss her prominent novel which gave her a high position in fictional writing, Pride and Prejudice. The two themes in the title of the novel refer to the shortcomings of the two main characters in the novel. So the title itself indicates the nature of two characters in the novel. The two main characters are, or the principal characters are, Elizabeth Bennet and Fitzwilliam Darcy. These two characters, though they possess number of good traits, they too have some bad traits. Both of them, hero and heroine in this novel, misunderstand each other. The reason behind their misunderstanding is their weaknesses. Here, Darcy personifies pride in his nature. He has too much pride. Being rich, he doesn't give that much priority to the common people or ordinary people. And he maintains reserved nature. He always wants to distance himself from ordinary people. In case of Elizabeth Bennet, she is a witty lady and self-confident. She is witty as well as self-confident. She has utmost faith on her abilities. While doing things, she exhibits her self-confidence. The witty and self-confident Elizabeth is repelled by unfeeling and aloof aristocrat Darcy, who takes pride in his rank and fortune. This witty lady, self-confident lady, Elizabeth Bennet, is not properly treated by Darcy, as he feels that his rank and stature above others. Moreover, it is his property that made him to look at others with malice. That is the reason there is a wall between Darcy and Elizabeth. Throughout the novel, what we understand is that much misunderstanding takes place between them, and later part of the novel we find both of them realize their own errors and come together. The appearance of Wickham, a military officer who claims that Darcy cheated him of his inheritance of Darcy's fathers. You see, Wickham, an officer, reveals that it is Darcy who cheated him from having Darcy's father property. Wickham's entry into the novel damages the relation between Elizabeth and Darcy, and both of them do not understand each other, and they have their own, claims of their characters. Then Austen works mainly by contrast and sets Wickham against Darcy as epitomes of honesty and dishonesty. What we need to understand is that when we earlier I informed you about Darcy's nature, that he is reserved and he takes pride in his rank and fortune, and he stays alone. He doesn't want to mingle with the middle class or lower class families. But in reality, he exhibits honesty in his deeds. He represents honesty, whereas Wickham represents dishonest. So here we can discriminate Wickham and Darcy's nature. Besides having some negative traits, Darcy also possesses some positive traits, such as honesty. He never wants to cheat people, and he is against the criminal line people. Whereas Wickham, believing in falsehood, says that Darcy is responsible for not getting Darcy's father's property as inheritance. Dishonesty, candor and deceit, and reliability and untrustworthiness. So one more important aspect is that Darcy is known for his frankness. He speaks frankly and he demonstrates his frankness in his actions. And he is a trustworthy personality. Anybody can trust Darcy. The reason behind it is he is candid in nature. He is open in nature. He speaks truth. He admits his mistakes. He exhibits honesty in his actions. So in case of Wickham, we find all the opposite qualities of Darcy. He is not trustworthy. He is known for cheating. So here, contrasting natures of these two prominent characters. This contrast is intensified when Wickham, by arranging Wickham's marriage, intensified when Wickham shows his wickedness by attempting to seduce Darcy's sister. You see, being a feeble-minded person, Wickham wants to seduce, wants to trap Darcy's sister. This shows his evil tendency. Wickham, being a feeble-minded fellow, doesn't speak the truth, and he decides, he makes up his mind to cheat Darcy's sister. And Darcy shows his magnanimity by arranging Wickham's marriage to Lydia. So, as a gentleman, Darcy shows his brilliance, intelligence, prudence, you may call it, and makes arrangements for the marriage of Wickham and Lydia. Because by arranging marriage, he would like to remove false opinion of Elizabeth over him. She arranges marriage between Lydia and Wickham, making Elizabeth to understand true nature of Darcy. Lydia is the sister of Elizabeth. Then by arranging marriage, Darcy saves the reputation of Bennet's family. He not only protects the image of Bennet's family, but also makes both Wickham and happy by helping both the couple. So here, Darcy's true nature is revealed. Then Elizabeth is forced to reevaluate her opinion. Now, Elizabeth Bennet, the heroine, starts thinking positively about Darcy. Earlier, she had a different opinion on Darcy. Now, she has changed her opinion. Now, thinks positive traits in Darcy's nature. A host of finely drawn characters inhabit the pages of the novel. There is a William Collins, who will inherit Bennet's estate after Bennet's death, who aspires to marry Elizabeth, but is rejected and instead gains the hand of her plain Bingley, a single man of large fortune. You see what happens, There is William Collins also, another important character in the novel, who will inherit the Bennet's estate after Bennet's death, and who aspires to marry Elizabeth but is rejected. You see, William Collins also is a legal heir of Elizabeth Bennet's family's property, and he also proposes to Elizabeth. Then what happens? Elizabeth firmly rejects the proposal made by William Collins. So we, throughout the novel, we come across different kinds of events and the appearance of different characters and different kinds of situations where all the characters involve completely. So here we find the domestic environment prevailing in the novel, and moreover, number of critics call Pride and Prejudice as a domestic novel, and its earlier name is First Impressions. So William Collins, a heir of Bennet's family's property after the death of Mrs. and Mr. Bennet, to marry, is rejected and instead gains the hand of her plain Bingley, a single man of Ladford, who moves into Netherfield Park near the village of Longbourn, where Mr. Bennet and Mr. Bennet lives with their 5 daughters. The plot of the novel is driven by these relations. And you see, Elizabeth has 4 sisters. Elizabeth has 4 sisters, and 4 sisters. That means Mr. Bennet and Mrs. Bennet have 5 daughters. And Mrs. Bennet wants to get her daughters married to rich people. And she always, whereas her character is little bit, she is known for her, she wants to remain silent, but has desires to achieve so many things. Whereas Mr. Bennet always remains cool and calm. Fortunately, they have a very good daughter by name Elizabeth, who is confident, who is awesome in her nature, as well as exhibits her intelligence in times of crisis. Yes, you see, at the end, what we understand is that Elizabeth Bennet and Darcy, both of them understand each other, forgetting their earlier troubles. Both of them understand each other, and their union takes place at the end of the novel. So, when we observe the novel, when we read the novel, we find a series of events involving different characters. And we find the love affair of Wickham and Lydia. Both of them get married with the help of Darcy. In the beginning, what we find, Darcy and Elizabeth misunderstand each other because of their different traits, and later they realize their own mistakes and come together, get married. So the entire novel moves very slowly, and sometimes we find much surprise and suspense, but at the end of the novel, we find that a happy conclusion to all the events in the novel. Then Pride and Prejudice was Jane Austen's second novel. Pride and Prejudice was her second novel, but it was not, published after writing. Then after number of repeated writings, she modified her novel, and she titled the novel as First Impressions. Later, she titled it as Pride and Prejudice, symbolizing both Elizabeth Bennet and Darcy. Here, what we find, here also I would like to explain flat character and round character. Here we find flat characters as well as round characters. One of the best example of flat character is our Mrs. Bennet. She is, as a spectator, she doesn't, change her attitudes, and even novel doesn't rotate around her. But when it comes to Elizabeth Bennet and Fitzwilliam Darcy, these we may call them as round characters because they continue to change their attitudes. We find a lot of change in their thinking, and they move around, they involve in different incidents, and sometimes even the entire novel, the crux of the novel moves around them. So they may be called round characters. So this novel achieved immense popularity once it was published. Then, so this novel is also called epistolatory novel in the sense that everything during dialogues and everything were formed in the form of letter writing. You see, if any novel is based on epistles, it may be called epistolatory novel. So in one sense, it may be like an epistolatory novel. So, the novel Pride and Prejudice was first published in 1813. It was first published in 1813. Today, it remains as one of the most popular novels of Jane Austen. Today, when we remember Jane Austen as a novelist, we generally remember two of her popular novels, Sense and Sensibility and Pride and Prejudice. These two novels have given her immense fame as well as a proper place in fictional world or in fiction writing. But the novel has been criticized for its lack of historical context, but the social bubble in which Auden's character existed is in fact an extraordinary, an extra exact portrayal of the society that she lived in. You see, one more important aspect is that her characters project the society in which our Jane Austen lived. So all all the events or the context of the novel or the plot of the novel or the theme of the novel or projection of the characters, all these things they project the social conditions that existed during Jane Austen's period. So in her through her characters, she vividly projects or clinically exhibits the situations around her and the behavior of men around her. That is the reason you see her novels mirrors the society of her times. Then Pride and Prejudice can be seen as a satire about a world that was narrow and prejudice. You see, it's a kind of a satire of her times. So the novel Pride and Prejudice can be called as a satire as it exposes the follies of the society in those days. In those days, some middle class families having number of children, they find it difficult to get their children married as their status is very low, but their aspiration is very big as they want to get their children married to rich people, particularly the daughters. So attitudes of the people are well projected. So this particular novel, Pride and Prejudice, is nothing but a kind of satire on society of 18th century Great Britain. So this novel can be interpreted in different ways. Some of them call it as a domestic novel. Some of them call it as a wonderful satire on the society of Great Britain of 18th century, a later part of the 18th century. Yes. So her plot construction is very nice. Jane Austen is very intelligent enough to weave the events in such a way that they would have a good ending. So she properly arranges the events, properly weaves all the events to have a very good ending. So that's why her plot construction also receives much appreciation from the readers. And moreover, her diction and using of proper words while framing the dialogues are also good. She selects the words which are apt to the situation, and her characterization is also very nice. You see, she not only projects the weak traits of her characters, but also projects the better traits or better qualities or good qualities. And what we understand at the end of the novel, number of characters in the novel, they realize their own mistakes. They change. They find a kind of transformation. We find a kind of transformation in every character of the novel. That is the reason, why we call it a kind of a positive novel, a novel where you can find a transformation of a character from one state of mind to the other state of the mind at the end. So from bad to good, even the main characters move. So having, Elizabeth Bennet having a pride in her and having a kind of a witty nature, self-confident, and she wants to be supreme in her ways. Whereas in case of Darcy, reserved personality, always thinks of his stature. He doesn't move along with the people very closely. Later he realizes, he arranges the marriage of Wickham and Darcy, Wickham and Lydia, and makes Bennet family feel happy and also saves them from disrepute. So what we understand from this novel, Jane Austen is very good at understanding men and matters of her time and projects them clinically in her fictional works. Thank you.